The genetic conditioning is quite evident in a person's body. It's why they look so much like their relatives. Unfortunately, the paradigm has such an enormous influence over the use of a person's conscious faculties. If and when they use their imagination, they will generally unconsciously use it in a negative manner against themselves. An individual will create an image in their mind where they see the conditions and circumstances as the dominant role, and they become subservient to them. What does that mean? What is your takeaway on that?
I mean, what you're seeking is seeking after you at the end of the day. If there's something you want to achieve and there's some place you want to go and there's a path that's telling you don't go that direction, that's the direction that's going to get you there, right? It's how the paradigm works. So we have to look at that in our own lives, and we have to look at the boundaries and the borders that we put in front of ourselves. It's not as hard as what we make it, but we just don't think about it.
You move in the direction in which your mind gives the most attention to.
Yes.
This puts them in a position that prevents them from moving forward. If you don't understand this information, we stay stuck. Why is it that people will go their whole life and they're wondering, you can see it in their behavior, they're wanting to break free, they're wanting to break out, but they don't know what's going on. How can you break out of a prison you don't even know you're in? What's wanting is the introduction of a personal factor. Your essential part of your nature is spiritual. The spiritual side of your nature is perfect, and it wants to grow. What was wanting was the introduction of a personal factor. That means your desire, your true want, and that's what's wanting. It wants to grow. It wants to grow to and through you. It is the paradigm that has attracted the conditions or circumstances that contribute to the problem. With a proper understanding, an individual has the ability to change the paradigm. Becoming aware of paradigms and their limiting ability is not going to change your situation at this point. You have to become aware of how to alter paradigms, and that will be covered in the exercise outlined in the worksheets. It takes us back to the point that a paradigm is a multitude of habits. Some of these habits are good, which produce wanted results or results that you enjoy. It is the habits that form the negative aspect in the paradigm that requires changing. So when you find the things that you really don't desire, when you've seen the results that you don't want, remember the result is always an effect. And for every effect, there's always a cause. So your intention should always be in the cause. What is causing this result? What is causing this behavior? Why did I lash out? Why did I act out? Why did I act in this manner? Why? So when you start to understand the cause, the effects will change because you decided to change them, because you're going to work on the cause. Realizing your paradigm is a multitude of habits, and habits require a considerable amount of attention and discipline before they are changed. So realizing that your paradigm is a multitude of habits, and habits require a considerable amount of attention and discipline. What does that mean? Why does it need such attention? Why does it need such discipline?
So you're going outside of yourself. The program's already running. You're going through the day, and as you said earlier, we're not aware of half the things or 3/4 of the things that we're dealing with in our days, and more than that, at 98%. So then paying very close attention to what we're doing means we're thinking about what we're thinking about.
Yep. Our mental mindset has already been adjusted, preset. So this is why it's so, you've got to really focus. You've got to be disciplined. You've got to control the thought. You've got to be aware, consciously aware, and be able to give yourself a command, give yourself an order all day long. Because if you're not consciously aware and consciously moving in the direction of your goal all day long, the minute you stop thinking of the goal and walking towards the goal, your automatic's going to come right in. It's going to take you back over, and it's going to put you back on path with the old result. This is why this is so important. It's your whole life. Everybody has 24 hours. That's it. This is the reason why you see different people getting results in their different results in their 24-hour period. It's the way they use their mind. When you see somebody that's doing a lot of things or accomplishing a lot of goals, they have the same 24 hours. What's the difference? The way they think, the way they pattern think, right? Everything goes to patterns. We think in patterns. What is the pattern? It's got its root in its what? Images. Where do your images come from? Subconscious. Who gave you those images? Family members. What were their results? Right? So let's go back to it. We think in images, right? So the images that we use, we pattern. This is we put things together in patterns. We try to organize it. But we're using old images. Now, if we don't replace the new images, patterns stay much the same. The images inspire us, do they not? If I were to grab a puzzle, and I took a puzzle right now, and I put a 10,000 piece puzzle on the table, but I just scattered them about, and I kept the lid. Nobody can see the lid. We're not leaving this room till we get that done. How many would leave?
95%.
There's no image. Where do you start?
Matching colors, shapes,
It's a start.
sizes.
Start with the corners, all the edges.
What the point was that I was making was that if you don't have an image to work with, you don't know where you're going. You don't know how to connect the dots. You don't know how to put the pieces together. The image brings order. The order brings resolution. The order brings what? Action ideas. Action ideas come from image patterning. Are we getting a better understanding? So we take the image, I understand the image, I can see the images, and therefore I start to get my image and put the patterns together to organize a thought, because I think in images. We're always working with an image. Always, always, always. I was working with an image. I remember my father said, if you don't go to school, you don't get an education, you're going to have to put on the boots of a worker. And you're going to have to trade your time for money. At that time, I didn't want to go to school. I found myself put on the boots. He told me exactly what I was going to do. Who gave me his vision? His father gave him that vision. Then he gave me the vision. And then here, before you know it, Father said, if you don't go to school, you're going to have to wear the boots of a worker. So I don't want to go to school. So I went and found a pair of boots. Wow. Really think about that. It didn't have to be that way. But that was his idea. That then became my idea. Then I expressed it. And I started to understand it. I was living through that vision. Because we think in images. Because we think in patterns. Now you think a little child is not getting what they're telling him? We're just patterning. Really think about how serious that is. We're just putting pattern ideas, pattern images, and then we use our logic to rearrange those orders again. We go throw our puzzles back in the box, and then the minute we want to go somewhere different, we just go pick up the same patterns again. You think we're going to go anywhere different? You got the same puzzle. You have the same images. But if I get a new image and a new vision, somewhere I've never been, something I've never done, that's a new puzzle. Those are new images, a new vision. If I take that box, and I take these new images, new boxes, and I put it in my subconscious mind, I've got a new order. If I'm willing to do the work, pay the price, become the person that puts that together, then I earn it. You don't get money, you earn it. You don't get a business, you earn the business. You've got to put it together. If I get that box, you can't have it unless you're willing to do the work. But that's a different mindset. That's a different logic. That's a different puzzle. Right? Begin by identifying the results that you want to improve in your life. Understand the results are a manifestation of an image held in your subconscious mind. This is the key. Begin by identifying the results you want to improve in your life. Understand that results are the manifestation of an image held in your subconscious mind. Again, you take this self-image every morning and you put it on. Guess what you just did? We're thinking in images, right? So if you keep using this same old self-image, guess who's going to create the day? We think in images. If you want to be that new man, that new individual, you've got to walk, talk, live, breathe, and do everything that that man is in the future. Be him now. Your self-image, your new self-image should always be 10 years ahead of you. And you should be acting like him now. Why do I say that?
Neville talks about assuming the reality. You have to assume anything that you desire in your life first. So assume it by saying thank you for it happening now. You're thanking the universe forward for what already is.
Yep.
Therefore, it has to come to you.
Yep.
No question.
If you're willing to do the work.
Yes.
Yesterday we were talking, what do we want 2022 to look like? Well, we got to work with the image. We've got to work with the vision. Where does reality come from? Thoughts. Thoughts become things. Some people just use bigger images. Some people use small images. Big images, big results. Small images, little results. Big thinkers, big results. Little thinkers, little results.
But they're all right. Every one of them's right.
Every one of them's right and perfect to the individual that's using them.
Unless they decide for something different.
It is a part of your perception of what you are capable of achieving or accomplishing. It is a part of your perception of what you are capable of achieving and accomplishing. That's your self-image. This is why it's so important to keep rewriting the self-image, to keep identifying how you want to look. If we're going to talk about how we're going to look like in a year, what is this new person at the end of the year? What did he accomplish at the end of the year? What was his goal for the year? Right? What does he look like? What does he talk like? What does he walk like? What is he experiencing now? Because he already has it. This is where your mind should go. It's supposed to go in the future and work from there. When you start to understand the new behaviors, when you start to understand the new results that he's getting, when you start to understand what he's doing to get those new results and have those new behaviors, where he's thinking from, what place he's thinking from, where's his mind set, right? Everything is a mindset. Your mind is set. That's the cause. Everything else is an effect.
It's kind of like what you've been saying the past few weeks. You say act the play forward, which I've really been using that throughout my week. I always remind myself, act the play forward, because it's that moment that you're creating who you are now. So I'm trying to think, there's a book about a famous, was it Neville? No.
What's the story?
Okay. There's a book about a famous actor and how they literally, they saw who they wanted to be. And this is why actors, I think, can really fit in any role, because
They use the actor's technique.
Exactly. They live it. It's not something they just do. Every single part that they are acting in, they live it first so that they can really move into that role. And that's why, you know, whenever you're watching that movie or that TV show, you feel it because they feel it and they're living it. They're acting the play forward, and that's why they are so successful in the field that they're in, because they know where they're going and what they're wanting to do.
And they know what that person acts like.
Exactly.
And they know how to control the flow of emotion.
Yes.
So therefore, what are they expressing? They're expressing the emotion that other people are feeling. It's transcendent. So you're dealing with quantum entanglement at that degree because we feel what others are feeling.
Yep.
Yep.